Hey leaders, it's great to see you again. Joe Lenhart back with you here again. Leadership fan, leadership instructor, former leader at various levels in industry. And I love talking within this series of leadership topics about things that can have a real impact on up and coming leaders and leaders who are out there making that climb in whatever industry that you're in. And I will tell you, there were some things that I was really good at in leadership and some things that maybe not so much. But one of the topics that a lot of people just don't want to talk about because it sounds negative in nature is this idea of delivering bad news as a leader. So it's inevitable, right? If you're in leadership, especially at a high level, or you have a large amount of people within your staff, that those days are going to come when you have to deliver some bad news or what's perceived as bad news. So I suppose your delivery and how you explain that bad news or how you deliver that bad news and table that for people is really going to make all of the difference, isn't it? Does that sound fair? I've had leaders oftentimes in my life that come at it from that really direct, aggressive, take it or leave it approach. And it's just a gut punch for the employees. And I will tell you, it usually doesn't turn out so well for that leader. And so let me tell you what my simple approach to this has always been going into those conversations, whether it's a one-on-one conversation or maybe it's a team-wide, company-wide type of conversation. I think that change is inevitable. We all know that. Change is inevitable. And so I always try to sell change as a good thing, especially if we have a reputation or a brand of making positive, smart change that is well thought out. You know, I've always had this simple thought. I ran large admissions teams over the years in the college and university space. And I used to always say, in the world of admissions, especially large scale admissions, if you over tinker with admissions process, in other words, you make change too often for the sake of change, guess what? Bad things are going to happen. And I think that that's true in most any industry that you name. You need continuity and consistency. You need rhythm, right? You need momentum. And so constant change for the sake of change is not often a good thing, is it? Nevertheless, change is inevitable. So I got three things here to mention to you today that I think are critical in your delivery of what's perceived as bad news. First of all, be honest, right? See, your people trust you if you're a solid leader. You've built that trust. We've talked about that here. And so come off as honest. Tell the truth all the time. And if you do that, you're going to be so much better off than if you just are perceived as towing the company line and giving them a line of, well, there's a B and an S in that acronym, right? Number two, really dig deep to find empathy. Be empathetic in your delivery, especially if you're taking something away or it's perceived that you're taking something away. In fact, I always try to find a way in my strategy that if I take something away, I'm also going to giveth along the way. And if they're with you long enough, they're going to figure that out, right? And so that's something to keep in mind moving forward. With that, try to be a caring leader. Be a caring leader. Have respect for their feelings as well. And number three, stay enthusiastic, right? Be enthusiastic and be positive. And they will feel that energy from you. If you come in and you're gloom and you're doom and you're negative and you're sad and you just don't agree with what's going on, they're going to adopt that attitude. And guess what's going to happen? Your results are going to reflect it. And that change probably is going to meet failure. Okay? And so with those things said, folks, Be a change maker out there, but do it with honesty, empathy, and enthusiasm. If you can do that, you're going to be a more successful leader. Really work at delivering not just the great news, but the challenging news that's out there as well. Take that time to really think about how you're going to deliver that message, and your people will appreciate it. Folks, I'll see you next week. Until then, keep rippling. See you then.